Tonight, heart-stopping moments for thousands in Manitoba fleeing from wildfires, waiting to see which way the wind blows.
I've been a lucky guy most of my life. I'm hoping for a little bit more.
From Flin Flon to several First Nations, the latest efforts. Community shock and outrage after a teenager stabs and kills a senior.
She would have been welcoming to any person, any stranger coming up to her.
As Elon Musk exits his White House post, what he leaves behind.
Elon entered the picture with a disdain for public servants that was just cartoonish.
Adrienne's interview with longtime Silicon Valley observer Kara Swisher.
From CBC News, this is The National with Erica Johnson.
Thank you for joining us. For thousands of residents in Manitoba, this is a critical and very worrying night. A wildfire is raging right on the edge of Flin Flon, one of several threatening Canadian communities right now. And the fear is winds could push the flames inside. All 5,000 people who live there have been ordered out, including now the last few workers and officials. Only emergency personnel and firefighters remain. Flin Flon sits right on the border with Saskatchewan. To its north, Matthias-Colomb Cree Nation is also under fire threat, as is Pimicikamak Cree Nation to the east. Residents of both on the move. Manitoba is under a provincial state of emergency, as is Saskatchewan, and we will head there in a moment. But let's begin tonight with the situation in Flin Flon. As Cameron McIntosh lays out, a lot is riding on the next few hours.
The future of the city of Flin Flon could rest on wind direction, the fire line that is held for 2 tense days, facing its greatest threat.
The prognosis that we're hearing is that the winds are going to change and turn that fire back towards our community.
On Wednesday, the community of about 5,000 was evacuated, most wasting little time. Now only fire and emergency crews remain, with winds expected to shift northwest.
It could be very catastrophic if that happens.
Flin Flon, in the balance. Evacuations are underway in 2 remote northern communities, Matthias-Colomb Cree Nation and further east, Norway House. Military using CC-130 Hercules to airlift many of the 5,000 residents of Pimicikamak Cree Nation stranded in Norway House, the only place they could go when fire cut off the only route south for both communities. Restored briefly, allowing many to also drive out. While in Matthias-Colomb, heavy smoke at the airport forced the community to rely on helicopters and boats to start moving 2,500 people.
We need more resources. We need to move them immediately.
Premier Wab Kinew says province-wide up to 17,000 people will be moved.
Today, we can expect thousands of more people from the northern parts of our province to be moved out of their communities or neighboring communities to find their way to safety.
Shelter space is being set up across the province. How long it will be needed, unclear. The fires, out of control. Help from the U.S. now on the way. Flin Flon evacuee Danny Amont's life is reduced to a suitcase and shopping bags.
It's going to be hit or miss, Mother Nature. What can you do? So it's rebuilding, that goes through your mind.
All he can do is watch.
I've been a lucky guy most of my life, and I'm hoping for a little bit more.
With residents of Flin Flon holding their breath and evacuees on the move, the Canadian government is also announcing tonight that it will match all donations to the Canadian Red Cross for wildfire relief.
Cam, what more do we know about conditions in Flin Flon tonight?
Well, as of this evening, the wind was still south-southwest. That's helpful, but these hot, dry conditions with low humidity are expected or forecast to persist well into next week, just raising the possibility of even more fires.
Cameron McIntosh in Winnipeg tonight. Across the border, people in Saskatchewan are also nervously watching the wildfire situation, and thousands are also out of their homes. Alexander Silberman is about an hour north of Prince Albert. Alexander, what's the situation in Saskatchewan tonight?
Well, Erica, the conditions on the ground here near Candle Lake are worsening. The air is thick with smoke and winds are gusty, and those gusty winds are pushing the fire closer to the community. This road behind me is closed due to the Shoe Fire, the largest of 15 active fires currently burning in Saskatchewan. So people in nearby Candle Lake are getting ready for the growing chance of an evacuation.
I have some bags packed, and I'm leaving with friends. I'm very happy that they declared a state of emergency because I think that's an important step in making everybody aware of how serious the situation is.
Fire crews have been working all day along this highway with bulldozers to cut a fire break and try and stop the fire from reaching the community.
Now, fires are also affecting people further north. What can you tell us about the impact on other communities?
Upwards of 8,000 people have now left their homes in Saskatchewan, with many First Nations in the far north under evacuation orders. 4,000 people have left the community of Pelican Narrows in the northwest. We had the chance to speak with some of the evacuees in Prince Albert who say it was a scramble to get out.
It was kind of scary, but I don't know. I wanted to bring more, but I was kind of in a rush because it was overwhelming because I had my 14-year-old in a wheelchair, and my husband had to stay because he operates the fire truck over there.
Many evacuees and fire crews are hoping desperately for some help from the weather with calmer winds or rain.
All right, Alexander Silberman near Candle Lake, Saskatchewan tonight. In Newfoundland and Labrador, the tide has turned in the fight against a wildfire burning just outside of Churchill Falls. Residents relieved by the shift in the weather.
It's raining and it's good. I wish it come down a little harder, a little longer.
The fire took a turn for the worse earlier in the week, but crews are now holding it at bay about a kilometre east of the town. And officials are optimistic as long as the weather holds. It's not even June, and the 2025 fire season has already taxed the country's firefighting capacity to the limit. Jamie Strachan shows us why resources are stretched and where Canada needs to turn to protect forests, homes, and lives.
In Manitoba.
Now that looks like hell.
In Saskatchewan.
Mommy, how we just how this?
And in Alberta. Fast-moving fires have burned more than 8,000 square kilometers and pushed firefighters to the brink.
It doesn't matter how many resources you throw at these fires, they're going to burn because the conditions are so conducive.
Currently, national fire preparedness is at a level 5. It's the highest measure and means the level of fire danger is extreme, the anticipated fires to come also extreme, and resources needed to fight them inadequate.
So that means that fire activity is significant and that our current available firefighting resources within Canada are all fully committed.
Hey, count your boy! Some blazes like this one on the border of Manitoba and Saskatchewan have firefighters fleeing for their lives and leaders calling for international help. Canada has an agreement to share wildfire resources with 9 countries, including the U.S., Mexico, and Australia.
We received news that 125 firefighters will be coming from the United States.
Relying on Canadian firefighters alone is not so easy. This expert says currently it's impossible to build capacity to fight blazes across multiple provinces.
It's very hard to recruit and retain personnel.
Increasing capacity is only part of the solution. It's also about mitigating factors that make fires worse.
It's not just climate change, of course. It's more people living in more flammable landscapes, building more buildings and more expensive infrastructure there, and that ratchets things up.
But this season is another reminder that several provinces burning at once is not unusual. Canada's usual ability to handle it, no longer enough. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
In other news, one of the accused was cross-examined today in the case of 5 former junior hockey players on trial for sexual assault. Katie Nicholson takes us through the details.
Carter Hart leaves the courthouse after an intense day in the witness box under cross-examination from Crown Megan Cunningham. Hart, Michael McLeod, Alex Formanton, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote are the 5 former World Junior Hockey players charged with sexually assaulting a woman known as EM in a London, Ontario hotel room in June of 2018. They have all pleaded not guilty. Cunningham challenged Hart's testimony that Foot was fully clothed when he did the splits over EM's face. She had him draw Foot's position in a photo of room 209, and she suggested Foot's action matched the sexual energy in the room. What would be more exciting would be to see a guy with no pants on do the splits right over EM's face, essentially teabagging her. Don't you agree? I mean, that's pretty weird, Hart replied. Well, the whole night was weird, wasn't it? Cunningham said. Hart replied, yeah. But not so weird, Cunningham later suggested, to deter Hart from trying to get another player to come into the room. She played part of a video from that night. Did you hear someone say, I'll get Fabs, I'll get Fabs, she asked, referring to the player's nickname. Yes, Hart replied. That's you, isn't it, she asked. Yes, he said. Cunningham suggested you wouldn't be trying to get him into the room unless you felt like what was happening in the room was fun and exciting. Hart agreed the room was fun and exciting. The Cross, an attempt to push back on previous testimony from Hart and other witnesses who characterized the night as awkward and uncomfortable. It can be tough to discredit a defendant who has consistently denied the allegations, says this defense lawyer who isn't involved in the case.
Even if the trial judge, after listening to Mr. Hart's evidence, does not believe his evidence, she has to consider whether or not his evidence raises a reasonable doubt.
Hart's time in the witness box now over. The question that remains to be answered Monday, will any of the 3 remaining defense teams call their own witnesses? Katie Nicholson, CBC News, London, Ontario.
A girl has been found guilty of manslaughter for her role in a swarming attack that killed a Toronto homeless man. She is the last of 8 teens, all minors at the time, to be convicted for the December 2022 attack. Prosecutors alleged that she delivered the stab wound that killed 59-year-old Kenneth Lee in a downtown parkette. The judge found her not guilty of the original charge of second-degree murder. A 14-year-old boy has now been charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of an elderly woman in Pickering, just east of Toronto. Philip Lee Shannock takes us to a neighborhood shaken by an apparently random attack.
Didn't know her as well, but they've always been there, and she always says hi.
Gabriella Frederick says she saw her neighbor across the street just moments before the deadly attack.
I saw him walking towards the house.
Then, a short time later, she saw her neighbor lying on her front lawn.
I actually saw her there, and there was somebody who was trying to give her CPR.
Within minutes, police and paramedics arrived at the house. The immediate area was cordoned off, and an emergency alert was issued, warning that police were looking for a homicide suspect and members of the public should shelter in place. The victim, described as in her 80s, had been stabbed multiple times. She was taken to hospital where she died.
The good soul people, it just happened to, it's tragic, real tragic.
Part of this investigation. Police say a 14-year-old was arrested at his Pickering home without incident. Investigators are looking for a motive.
This appears to be a random attack, and we do have no connection between the victim as well as the male that's in custody.
Police say the suspect and the victim had a brief conversation before the attack. They're not releasing the name and age of the victim at the request of her family. But at this church the woman had attended, the pastor says she was a well-loved member.
She would have been welcoming to any person, any stranger coming up to her. She would have had her hands wide open to see what she could do to help them.
The accused appeared by video in Oshawa court charged with first-degree murder. His identity is protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. He's scheduled to appear in court again on June 20th. Philip Lee Shannock, CBC News, Toronto.
Joe Biden says he's optimistic after starting treatment for cancer, speaking publicly for the first time since his diagnosis.
The expectation is we're going to be able to beat this. It's not in any organ. My bones are strong, I've been penetrated, so I'm feeling good.
The former U.S. president was diagnosed earlier this month with stage 4 prostate cancer. Speaking to reporters after an event honoring veterans, the 82-year-old says he'll be taking a pill daily for 6 weeks. At an event in Pittsburgh tonight with steel workers lined behind him, U.S. President Donald Trump said he will double tariffs on imported steel.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America.
Later on social media, Trump said the increase on steel and aluminum would take effect on June 4th. 25% global tariffs on both materials began in March. Canada is a major exporter. An increase to 50% could be devastating in this country. Earlier in the day, the Trump administration closed the door on Elon Musk's official government role. Well, sort of. Paul Hunter explains.
Today it's about a man named Elon.
Elon Musk, the world's richest man, once again in the Oval Office. The ball cap reads DOGE. The T-shirt, the DOGE father.
Elon has worked tirelessly helping lead the most sweeping and consequential government reform program in generations.
The event marks the official end of Musk's time running DOGE, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency. Says Donald Trump, DOGE has saved the U.S. hundreds of billions.
Well, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
But Musk's work has been cast by countless as brutal, heartless, and at times flat out bizarre. From his over-the-top stage energy to this salute at a Trump rally, to his seemingly gleeful approach to the many tens of thousands who've lost their jobs under DOGE.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Through it all, Musk's brand has taken a hit. This anti-Musk demonstration was outside a Musk-owned Tesla dealership. And even on this day, more controversy. The New York Times publishing a report suggesting drug abuse, that Musk's drug use was more intense than previously known. Musk, in reply, mocked the Times and then said simply,
"Let's move on."
And then there's the hard-to-miss black eye. And on that, he did have an answer, blaming one of his children, a 5-year-old named X.
So, I just wasn't around with little X, and I said, go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did.
But is it really the end for Elon Musk and Donald Trump? Not according to Musk, telling the president he will stay as a friend and advisor. Says Musk he remains at Trump's service. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Some sad news from the entertainment world. Two-time Emmy winner Loretta Swit has died.
I've got people dying all around me. You think I get upset because a dog gets run over?
Swit is best known for her portrayal of Major Margaret Houlihan, the demanding head nurse on the television series MASH. Swit's publicist says the actress died at home in New York. She was 87. Hundreds of people have come forward saying they're getting legitimate-looking ads to buy unauthorized medical devices.
Some crooked outfit was using their logo.
The push to get fraudulent ads taken down. U.S. companies are pulling out all the stops to bring back Canadian tourists.
We have lodging properties who are offering at-par rooms.
But are those deep discounts sending people south? And 99 laps for 99 years. We're back in 2. British street artist Banksy has struck again. The anonymous creator revealed a new work on social media, but it didn't take long for people to track its location to Marseille, France. Banksy, who keeps his identity hidden, has earned worldwide acclaim for his witty, subversive street art, which can fetch millions of dollars. They are advertised on social media as medical products endorsed by reputable Canadian organizations, but they're not. Now, Diabetes Canada is putting out a warning, and Alison Northcott shows you why you should pay attention.
When you open the box, you have this gadget.
Joel Snitman thought he was ordering a device to monitor his blood sugar to help manage his type 2 diabetes after seeing an ad on Facebook appearing to be endorsed by Diabetes Canada. But the product he got wasn't what was advertised.
I got sucked in, then obviously there'd be other people to get sucked in, and I wanted Diabetes Canada to know that some crooked outfit was using their logo.
Diabetes Canada says it's heard from more than 300 people complaining of similar ads.
Slimming and health boost drops.
It says it never endorses any medical products.
If you live with diabetes and you are seeing a health product, you think, oh, that looks interesting, and it's endorsed by Diabetes Canada, you need to know that's false.
The organization has tried to get the ads pulled down. In a statement, Facebook's owner, Meta, said it has removed some of the ads in question flagged to them by CBC News and is still investigating. But when one ad disappears, Diabetes Canada says another pops up, and the confusion that creates makes an already complicated disease even harder to manage.
If they wind up going on a whole trajectory of taking something or using something that isn't helpful, who knows, perhaps harmful, then they risk having a worsening of their condition.
Some ads have also used logos for Obesity Canada and even Health Canada, but the companies pushing the products can be hard to track down.
We are working with our legal team to hopefully reach out to them and cease and desist.
Health Canada told us the product Joel Snitman thought he was buying is not on the list of authorized medical devices in Canada. Diabetes Canada says anyone considering a monitoring device or a treatment found online should talk to their doctor first. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
American companies are trying to rebuild relations with Canadian clients.
They don't like being picked on, and to be honest, I can't really blame them.
Can deep discounts change minds? Plus, some U.S. professionals are bailing on their country, creating a chance to recruit new talent.
The question is, are we going to take that opportunity or not?
And what constitutes CanCon?
I've heard of it, but I actually have no idea what it is.
Why the answer matters more than you might think. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next.
And the Canadian Screen Award goes to Adrienne Arsenault.
CBC News chief correspondent and this show's host, Adrienne Arsenault, has been voted Canada's best national news anchor.
With all respect to my colleagues at CTV, I also consider this a Best Newscast Award.
The Fifth Estate.
The Fifth Estate won in two categories, Best News or Information Series and Best Photography. This weekend, the awards will include film and television.
Where'd you get this from?
The TV series Law and Order Toronto Criminal Intent leads with 20 nominations, while Universal Language has 13 nominations in the film categories. Taylor Swift has been trying for years, and now she's finally done it. The pop superstar says she now controls her entire body of work after buying back the original recordings of her first 6 albums. U.S. tourism operators feeling the downturn in Canadian visitors are getting creative. Discounts and TV ads aimed at luring back those turned off by their government's tariffs and threats. Here's Sophia Harris.
Business is slow at this golf resort in Plattsburgh, New York, about 100 kilometers south of Montreal.
Enjoy your day out.
Owner Paul Dame says the big problem, Canadian golfers make up about half his business, and many of them are no-shows because they're teed off about U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs and threats to annex Canada.
It would really be a wonderful marriage. They don't like being picked on, and to be honest, I can't really blame them.
To encourage Canadians to return, Dame is offering some freebies, including a set of Canadian-themed golf balls.
Maple syrup, hockey jerseys, and Mounties. A gift to say thank you, a gift to say come back and see us.
Dame joins many other tourism operators offering perks to woo back Canadians. In April, the number of return trips Canadians made to the U.S. plummeted by close to a third compared to the same period last year.
just an hour from Montreal.
To help boost sagging tourism numbers in the Plattsburgh area, the local Chamber of Commerce is running TV ads targeting Quebecers. And on Sunday, it plans to launch a webpage listing local businesses offering exclusive discounts for Canadians.
We have lodging properties who are offering at-par rooms or discounted room rates. We understand that there were feelings hurt, but understand the Plattsburgh and the Adirondack region value you.
The state of California is running a similar campaign, which includes a friendly ad.
Thank you, Canada.
And a webpage listing more than 1,000 hotels and attractions, offering Canadians discounts of up to 40%.
We just want to send the welcome mat that we love having our Canadian friends.
But it may take more than kind words and deals.
Because of Trump, I'm not going to travel to the States, even if they offer discounts.
Discount is temporary bandage, nothing else.
So Trump also needs to drop the tariffs?
Yes, definitely.
Still, some U.S. tourist destinations say their efforts are worth a shot.
Nice shot.
Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
Time now to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world, including Canada's attempt at brain gain, courtesy of Donald Trump.
Basic skills.
Frustrated with Trump administration policies on research funding, DEI, and demands on universities, a growing number of academics and scientists are looking to leave the U.S.
People are very worried, huge anxiety.
How America's loss could be Canada's gain. But first, a parting of ways as Elon Musk ends his tenure as presidential advisor and exits the White House. Kara Swisher is a veteran U.S. tech journalist who has covered the billionaire for years. Adrienne Arsenault spoke to her this week about what's really behind Musk's Washington departure.
It's great to talk to you. Thank you very much. When we first started reaching out, my initial question was, what does Elon Musk want? But now I sort of feel like asking, what the heck happened?
Well, it was kind of a disaster, right? I mean, he came in guns blazing, use an American term, and went out with his tail between his legs, I think. He's accomplished almost nothing, created all kinds of havoc, ruined his personal reputation. I'm staying away from how rich he is. He's always going to be rich, so that doesn't really, ending for him, at least financially, be fine. But he really has tarnished himself rather significantly and not really brought reform to the government, even if that's a laudable thing to do. A lot of people have tried before him, but he did everything in such a performative, narcissistic way, it made it impossible to succeed.
When you say his tail between his legs, I mean, are you kind of firmly of the view that leaving was not his idea? Or do you think maybe it was his idea?
I think he does whatever he wants. I think he got to the government, found himself not very effective in terms of finding cuts, and then sort of did everything again in this performative chainsaw-wielding way, which was kind of all about him and nothing about the task. Targeted agencies, a very small amount of agencies that actually give the United States a lot of soft power around the globe, got rid of regulators that are bothering his personal businesses. And then didn't have much savings to speak of.
I mean, anyone who's read this, right, who's read your book, like pawed over it the way we have, would say that you're like the least surprised person.
Yes, I was when he got there. I said nothing would happen. It would all be hand-waving, and that's what it was. Because at his companies, he's used to going in, and he says, this rocket goes up, this rocket doesn't, this is what happens, this is where we're cutting costs, this is where we're not. And it happens because he's the singular chief executive there. And the federal government doesn't work like that. We operate in a system of checks and balances. We have Congress. We have cabinet members. Power is dispersed for a reason, and there is friction for a reason. It's not just because the government's incompetent. It's designed to be full of friction. And Elon operates in a situation, as does much of Silicon Valley, where they want seamlessness. They use that word a lot, seamlessness. Well, the government isn't seamless. Solving poverty isn't seamless. Dealing with all kinds of complex services the government delivers isn't seamless.
Did you ever get the impression he was ideological at all?
In a very light way. I find a lot of these tech people aren't very knowledgeable about civics or history or English or anything else or philosophy. They have a lot of philosophies and they spout them, but they do. It's sort of like Kant on for dummies, right? Whatever they quote, I'm like, that's not what was meant. Or even when they're quoting the First Amendment, I'm like, you didn't read it, did you? It's short and first, so you might try. They don't have a very intellectual bent. But in Musk's case, I do believe he feels that the government is in his. He has a basic theory that many of them have the government's in our way and it needs to get out of our way. Elon entered the picture with a disdain for public servants that was just cartoonish. When in fact there are good public servants and bad public servants, but it doesn't. You can't impugn the entire class of people who devote their lives to service.
Are you worried about him, sort of, about the end of his story? Like what will happen?
I am. I don't listen. I don't care what happens to him. I think he's shown himself to be a really unpleasant character in our history. Unfortunately, he started off very promising, interesting. One of the more interesting people I ever covered. So I feel sad that he's frittered away the promise.
You said something interesting about in the beginning about how this story ends financially for Musk. But there are other ways that the story can end.
I think he's done permanent damage to his brand. Unless he invents like the cure for cancer, I think he's done. I mean, look, people have brought their brands back. Look at Bill Gates, and he's also hurt it again. But you know, he was sort of Darth Vader of the 1990s and early 2000s, and he certainly did a lot doing the philanthropy and sort of learning along the way and having a little humility. So you can recover your brand. You know, look at he's got the means and the money and probably the investor support. Most people would invest in Elon Musk even now because he's a good bet. He's a relatively good bet compared to a lot of other people.
I really appreciate you taking the time because I know you sure as hell don't have it.
No, I don't actually. So I got to get going now. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll let you know if I'm ever in Canada.
Frustrated by the policies coming out of the Trump White House, a significant number of doctors, scientists, and professors are looking to leave the U.S. Eli Glasner now on the efforts to bring them to Canada.
How can somebody that can't add or has very basic skills, how do they get into Harvard? Why are they there?
President Trump doesn't think much of Harvard or its students. And after the Ivy League school didn't fall in line with Washington's requests, the White House pushed back hard, attempting to end Harvard's ability to enroll international students and stripping away its government funding. Just the latest salvo in the larger White House war against higher learning.
Well, people are very worried.
Entire departments deleted.
The classes are literally being canceled.
Leading to an exodus.
Well, I wonder what it takes to be a doctor in Canada.
And a gold rush for top-tier talent.
And the question is, are we going to take that opportunity or not?
The race is on and the competition is global. Reports from universities and admission centers suggest professors, doctors, engineers, and scientists all rethinking careers and study plans in the United States. Inside this hospital, there's a $30 million effort to get up to 100 of them to consider Canada.
Those could be Americans, they could be Canadians, they could be Europeans.
Dr. Brad Waters is a cancer researcher who's increasingly spending time focused on Canada leads.
There are a large number of people, young, talented scientists, including those in Canada, that are being particularly affected.
A program to recruit the next generation of scientists to the UHN hospitals.
There is a cohort of talent, unlike we've ever seen before, that we can go out and compete for.
Setting thresholds.
Typically, this is where you'd find him, collaborating with scientists, even across borders. But what he's hearing from his American counterparts is dire.
People in positions like mine are closing recruitment opportunities. There's no new faculty, no new postdoctoral research positions. They're thinking about how to make up for shortfalls of $100 million, $200 million each year.
Already, the Canada Leads project, which funds salary and research for 2 years, is having an effect. Talk to me about what your inbox looks like.
Yeah, my inbox is full. We've had over 400 people already raise their hand and say they're interested.
It's asking a lot of them to go back, to engage with the 30s and 40s. Timothy Snyder left his tenured position at Yale to teach at the University of Toronto. Next fall, the 1,730 seats in this lecture hall will be packed for his course on Hitler, Stalin, and the rise of authoritarianism. He says studying history has never been more critical.
The only advantage we have over those Jews in Germany in the 1930s is that we know their history. That's it. We're not smarter, we're not better educated.
Which increasingly means looking outside of the U.S.
Probably, unfortunately, it'll be a lot easier to teach certain subjects here than in the U.S. So, like in the U.S., classes are literally, to use a word which is overused, but classes are literally being canceled because they are about race or because they're about gender or they're about the wrong kind of history.
As cutbacks continue, others are looking to follow his lead.
And I was giving a big lecture at the New York Public Library, and it was very old-fashioned. They collected index cards with questions. Some of them were like, well, how can you abandon us for Canada? Which is, completely understandable. And then the other set was like, can we come to Canada?
In fact, in a March survey in Nature magazine, 75% of U.S. scientists who answered said they're considering leaving the States. But competition is fierce. While Canada Leads has a budget of $30 million, Europe has earmarked a whopping 500 million euros to recruit the same talent. So, are Canadian universities competitive?
We need to attract the students again. Students from Asia, Europe, and the United States. But what's keeping them away right now is a sense that Canada isn't sure it still wants to attract the best and brightest, and it's made its system very onerous for them to get through.
Gabriel Miller speaks for Canadian universities. He says the federal cap on international students is hurting funding and sends the wrong signals.
For about 18 months, they heard nothing but a message from government in Ottawa that they were trying to reduce the number of people who came here.
He says the Carney government needs to increase funding and smooth over the immigration process.
Nobody understands that we want them to come to Canada. We have jobs.
As for a successful convert to the Canadian campaign, look no further than Dr. Allison Carlton, who uprooted her life to move from Iowa to a place called Winnipeg-Osis.
It's a cute little town, and it is not a disease.
Part of what pushed her to Canada were restrictions in her ability to provide medical services, which have only increased in the U.S.
They can't give transgender care. We used to do that.
Yeah.
They can't help a woman not have a pregnancy that she really doesn't want.
Do you think there's a growing interest or inclination?
Oh, yeah.
To?
How could there not be with the people that Trump has put in charge of health, who are vaccine deniers, who don't seem to believe in science?
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
We believe in science. That's what makes doctors doctors.
As Washington's war on Harvard and other centers of learning escalates, experts say Canada has a role to play. I wonder if the importance of institutions like this and others is going to increase now.
Totally, I agree 100%. We have a platform, and you have to lean forward, right? You have to think, okay, how do we become exceptional in this particular moment, right? How do we become like what New York was after the Second World War? How do we become a place which attracts the good people, which means the talented people, but also the people who have something to offer?
Snyder is all about learning from history. He says if these science cutbacks continue, it's a massive moment for Canada to create this international hub.
So a big moment for Canada, Eli, but tell us more about what's standing in the way.
Well, I've been hearing a lot from universities and scientists, some who point out Canada was already lagging behind other G7 nations in terms of investment in research and development. And this is a unique moment where the talent pool is considering their options. As the CEO of Universities Canada was telling me, if you're looking to study in Canada and you're facing immigration delays, you might stop looking.
Okay, Eli Glasner in Toronto, thank you.
My pleasure.
Work is being done to change what it means to be considered Canadian content.
To make sure that it reflects how content is created, financed, and shared.
Why the final ruling could have major implications. Hollywood North's big week, the annual Canadian Screen Awards, honoring the best of this country's film, television, and digital media.
The writers, the directors, the editors, the producers.
But why such a focus on homegrown entertainment?
There should be some shelf space for the Canadian stories.
For more than 40 years, government regulators have tried to protect Canadian content. Magda Gebrselassie breaks down what CanCon is, how it works, and what may soon change.
From blockbuster movies to hit TV shows, a chunk of the entertainment you're tuning into gets made here in Canada. But only some of it gets marked as being CanCon. What is that?
CanCon, abbreviated, I don't know. I've heard of it, but I actually have no idea what it is.
CanCon is Canadian content. Recently, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission held this hearing.
Our goal is clear: to modernize the definition of Canadian content to reflect today's reality.
We'll get to why in a minute, but first, some background. Going back decades, broadcasting laws and the regulator, the CRTC, ensured that a percentage of what broadcasters air is Canadian programming.
We are a small market in a big world, and we sit next to a very experienced, prolific producer of content, and there should be some shelf space for the Canadian stories so that Canadians can also see themselves in their own experience.
So what makes content Canadian? The CRTC set up a system in 1984.
If it's like mostly created in Canada and stars Canadians.
That's part of it, but there's more. First, the producer has to be Canadian. Then there's a 10-point system for key creative roles. For example, a Canadian director gets you 2 points. In all, 6 points are needed. Also, between the director and the writer, at least one has to be Canadian. That goes for top performers too. And 75% of the production and post-production expenses have to go to Canadians or Canadian companies. Insiders say having this kind of criteria for CanCon is crucial for many reasons.
There are subsidies that are provided at the provincial level to support the production of content. Tax credits usually is the form that they take.
Creativity needs to be free. However, you do have to put these rules and boundaries, limitations around it in order to support and protect the artists and the storytellers.
Thing is, how we consume those stories has changed with time. The 2023 Online Streaming Act updated broadcasting laws to include online content delivering services. The CRTC has to roll out a revised Canadian broadcasting structure and is looking into modernizing the definition of CanCon
to make sure that it reflects how content is created, financed, and shared.
Industry folk and traditional broadcasters weighed in. So did the Motion Picture Association Canada, repping streamers like Netflix, Disney, and Paramount. Its position is that global streamers shouldn't be held to the same standard as traditional broadcasters.
It should not impose any mandatory position, function, or element of a Canadian program.
This comes as big streamers are set to battle the CRTC in court. Last year, they filed an appeal after the commission ordered online streaming services making $25 million or more to fork over 5% of their domestic revenue to support the making of Canadian content.
I think it's important that the streamers who are making money off of Canadians put a little money back into the system.
Back to the hearing to define CanCon. The Commission proposed a 15-point system which would require more Canadians to fill crucial creative roles. Also discussed intellectual property rights and whether cultural elements should be in the mix, like Canadian history.
In a time where we're really focusing in on buying Canadian, I think it's important that we do the actual thing we're talking about, take care of our national voice.
There are more CRTC hearings to come, all tied to the future of Canadian broadcasting. But whether CanCon's definition gets a reboot or sticks closely to an old script, that's still a cliffhanger.
Well, for some real-life cliffhangers, you can catch the Canadian Screen Awards this Sunday night on CBC and on CBC Gem. Up next, marking 99 trips around the sun with 99 laps around the track.
Well, as long as I can keep people moving, I feel I've done my job.
The moment she crossed the finish line in our moment. That's 99-year-old Joan Tomlinson from Cambridge, Ontario, taking a lap around the track at her retirement community. Joan had one wish for her birthday: to raise money for sick children. She also knew she wanted to push herself with 99 laps for 99 years. Her remarkable achievement makes our moment.
Some people resist moving. Some of them feel sorry for themselves. Families put them into a retirement community. But you don't just sit, you just move, keep moving. Each time I think that's another kid I've helped. Right now it's Ronald McDonald House. All the help they have given families with kids with illnesses, it's just feels good knowing you can help people.
How does it feel now that you've completed your 99th lap?
Fantastic. I'm glad it's over. Am I going to do it again next year? I don't know. Well, as long as I can keep people moving, I feel I've done my job.
Pretty impressive. And this is not Joan's first rodeo. For her 97th birthday, she did 97 laps for the local food bank. For her 98th birthday, she did, you guessed it, 98 laps for sick kids. She says another thing to be proud of, she has since inspired people at her retirement home to get up and move as well. Good for you. Thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Erica Johnson in Vancouver. Take care.